ziua, suntem la Mobile World Congress 2017.
Vă prezentăm pe telecomtv.ro cele mai noi lansări ale industriei. Hello sir, we are at Mobile World Congress 2017 in Barcelona. We are at Mastercard booth and we are trying to discover what is your company doing in a smart city.
Mastercard's been working on a smart city program for several years now. We're making good progress. We did an announcement last week. We have teamed up with UI Labs, which is an innovation center in Chicago, where they have a city digital program, and we've joined them as a member. We're going to be using that partnership and that organization as a vehicle to explore some of the ideas that we want to pursue in this space that go well beyond payments. And I think from Mastercard's perspective generally, there's a terrific opportunity to work with cities all around the world, not just bringing the best of digital payments to how cities work, but also a whole host of further, more interesting capabilities that Mastercard can contribute to that really will help cities actually move towards what we consider to be full smart city status in the future.
This new project that you launched with UI, yes, is dedicated to the City Digital. What is City Digital?
So City Digital is a program run by UI Labs, which is intended to set up Chicago, and with the willing cooperation and support of all the various city agencies within Chicago, to be a deliberate sandbox or test lab for how, by working with both public sector actors and private sector partners, new ways of addressing city problems through digital means can be experimented with and proven. And the intention is that if we can find solutions through digital approaches in that environment, in real parts of Chicago, on real city services delivered by Chicago to the people who live and work there, then those solutions will become models that can conceptually at least become productized and shared and scaled out worldwide.
How did the mobile sector evolve in your company? And from now on, what kind of other divisions are getting new in your company?
So the need to move from a card-centric approach to a smart digital device-centric approach has been clear to us for a long, long time. And we're now at a point where all of the payment products and systems that we use to run cards have been extended and enhanced to support mobile as well. Whether that's contactless payments using NFC, or whether that's in-app payments using e-commerce techniques. So, to that extent, mobile has become really the core of the company. We don't actually make a distinction anymore between a product for plastic cards or a product for mobile. If I were to think about the technologies that are interesting in coming down the track, I think we're particularly interested in a range of things. One that does spring to mind is moving away from mobile applications per se to chatbot-enabled experiences in messenger apps. You only look at China to see that there are already large numbers of consumers, many millions of consumers, who are exhibiting behavior that suggests they actually prefer to engage with services through a messenger and a facilitated chat experience than through a bespoke application, and that's really interesting.
Could you please describe also the new initiative or Smart City Hackathon that you launched recently?
Yes, so we have found that in the area of experimenting with smart city solutions, hackathons have been a really interesting way to get focused work on some of the problems that cities face and to generate really great examples or prototypes of solutions that cities could really think about as they're grappling with how to invest to solve problems that face them. We ran a a Mastercard sponsored hackathon at the Intelligent Transport Systems Conference in Melbourne, Australia last year, and that was really focused on using both city data and transport operator data and Mastercard data to create tools that will allow people to make informed choices about what sort of journey to make to get to their end destination, as a way to address congestion and maybe to incentivize the right behavior. And my observation of that event was that it was really powerful in giving the decision makers on the city side very practical, real world examples of how these solutions might look and feel, that were a lot more useful in their problem solving and their thinking than sort of written documents about what might be possible in bland text form.
Are you going to extend your digital payments initiatives from the public sector, let's say, to other public sectors like theaters, like universities, like schools?
Yes. I think the best way to think about this is to say that smart city solutions are not narrow solutions in their own right. The way we prefer to think about it is we say you can observe 4 attributes or characteristics that a given public service might have if we believe it's really reached a full level of maturity as a smart city service. And just to run through those 4 to give you a flavor, the first important thing is that the service should be delivered digitally by default. So rather than using paper-based processes, it should be digital engagement between the city and the consumer or the citizen. And just on this one, it's really important to remember that cities don't deliver services just to residents or citizens. Actually, in any given day in a city, there's a mixture of people who live in the city, but who also others who have come in, whether for a short period of time, for a long period of time, for business or for pleasure and so on. And the city has to serve all of them digitally. And so this is where the interoperable and global standards and solutions that we Mastercard can offer to consumers worldwide are actually a really helpful asset for a city. You can design a solution or a service for someone to use based on Mastercard standards, and there's a very good probability that anyone, whether they live in your home city or whether they just come in for a short period, they will have a compatible device that matches those standards and can engage with the service you want to deliver them. So that's the first one. And that really is the realm of digital payments, and that's the starting point we want to do. And in lots of cities around the world, we've got projects going where we're helping not just public sector bodies, but also the private companies that work on their behalf to deliver services to consumers to adopt cutting-edge digital payment solutions, whether that's for paying rides on trains or buses, or whether it's for paying for services in school canteens or hospital canteens and so on. Lots of activity across a range of sectors. The second attribute we see is that all that activity, that digital activity, generates data, and the city has the ability to look at that data in a way that manages consumers' consents and privacy properly, but looks at that fully aggregated mass of data and starts to learn lessons in something like real time. And there are huge benefits to be had from analyzing that data and using it as a tool to improve the way services are delivered in the future. So how might demand for taxis vary between very wet days and very dry days? How many buses might you need to lay onto the principal shopping district to meet the full demand for shopping in the run-up to the Christmas season? These are all things that you can observe in data, and so a smart city would be one that aggregates all these data streams, not just its own data, but bringing in data from other actors outside to really develop a fully fledged full picture of what's happening in the city day by day and act upon it. And then the third sense is that the city tries to the extent it's possible, personalize its interactions with each individual in it. Again, that's about using the data that the city has gathered about its interactions with a person over a period of time. So using its knowledge to make sure that that person gets tailored services that are exactly what that person needs. And then the last attribute, and really this is in the far future for most cities, it's actually developing a degree of the ability to analyze data to predict unforeseen circumstances, be that congestion, be that excessive air pollution, under circumstances, and proactively preempt those. As far as we're concerned, that really is the acme of smart city status. I can't think of any city in the world that's fully achieved that, but that's the pathway that we see cities going on. And we believe that we have capabilities and tools that help them at every step of the way, whether that's our digital payments, whether that's our ability to help cities understand patterns of expenditure data, or whether that's our ability to actually help cities engage directly with individual consumers in the city with offers or incentives or points or games that might help them make efficient choices as they go through their daily life.
Mastercard's latest initiative in Smart City was launched in US, in Chicago, yes? How do you see the US experience towards the European ones, and especially the Eastern European, because we are coming from Romania, when we just want to compare ourselves with the other regions in the world?
Well, there's no doubt that the US market is very well developed and advanced in one sense, which is that vast numbers of people possess smartphones, and you can design city solutions almost on the assumption that the vast majority of people will have a smartphone device and can run apps. And so there is a very app-centric way of thinking in the US. I think in European markets, some markets have slightly less smartphone adoption, but certainly adoption of secure EMV-based card payments and NFC payments are actually much better developed than they are in the United States. So the skill here is to make sure the solutions you're experimenting with match the local conditions and are relevant to the vast majority of consumers in whatever market. And we see a wide variety of situations worldwide, and we tailor our work in different markets to suit that.
In the end of our interview, could you please summarize Mastercard presence at Mobile World Congress this year? What are the key words of your booth here?
So we're here at Mobile World Congress again. It's our 5th year. I think the thing we're really measuring on this year is what we call the Masterpass ecosystem, which is the work we have done to put in place a standardized ecosystem for digital projects and products, whether that's for shoppers and consumers and the banks that serve them, or whether it's for the merchants, the shopkeepers, the retailers, and the banks who serve them on the other side. And our work around Masterpass has been to create a digital ecosystem in which all these actors can create really great, compelling digital experiences that allow transactions and commerce, and in which our banking customers who issue cards can manifest those cards as a digital payments application or a digital wallet that their consumers and their cardholders can use across the whole economy and across all the various transacting parts of their life.